Today we have actor Craig Ingham, who plays the Attorney General in Rise of the Underdog. Hey Craig, can you tell us a little bit about how excited are you for this movie at this moment?
Yeah, look, thanks for having me. Pretty excited about this. Anything Mack does is incredible. So to be involved in that and to be involved in the creative and to bring presence to screen, pretty exciting stuff. I'm so excited about audiences when they get to see it. So yeah.
So how did the role of the Attorney General compare to the other roles that you've done in your career so far?
You know what, this was a really fun role to do. So I've known Mack for a while, and he goes, hey buddy, he said, look, when we do this, we got a loose structured script, which was really cool for key points. But he said, do you want to fly? I said, do you want to fly? And that's one of the most exciting things as an actor, because when you have two actors that trust each other, and all of a sudden you know your outline, but you know your points, and you can actually improv a lot of it within the structure of it. That's truly flying as an actor. And that's the most magical feeling. If you got someone who can match your presence, which Mack did, of course, and does, he's a great actor as well, it was bouncing. And that was really good. Yeah, it felt amazing.
So that leads me on, how did this opportunity come about for you?
So I've done everything on the Gold Coast, you name it, I've done it. And I was hosting an awards night one night, and I knew of Mack, of course, through his different projects. And he came up to me, he goes, hey buddy, great job on the awards night. I said, oh, thank you, mate. He says, look, maybe we should work together one day. I said, I would really love that. I really respect your process. And so I got a phone call. He was doing a pitch trailer night for one of his other productions. He said, hey buddy, do you want to come in and be an MC? I said, love to do that. So we did that, and that was very successful. That's on his slate. I can't wait for that film. I'm not going to mention it, because yeah, he'll probably, don't mention it. Of course, it's all in wraps.
Yeah.
But from that moment, we always kept in touch. So I got a phone call from production saying, hey, look, there's an opportunity. Do you want to do something? And then Mack and I talked about it. I said, oh man, that'll be amazing. So that's how it all came about.
I love that. And that, I mean, it really goes for, it's all about who you know in this industry, hey.
It's all about networking, but also too, this is the real interesting thing, and a lot of people don't get about when you're an actor, they don't get this. A lot of people say, oh, it never happens for me, or you've got to be lucky. Yes, and really no. What you do have to do is have connections and network, but you also have to refine your craft. You've got to refine your craft. So when you do get an opportunity like Rise of the Underdog, and you get an opportunity to fly, you've got to be on top. You've got to be up there. So you could be dormant for a while because you haven't done a few projects because you've been X, Y, Z. But if you're not doing your dictation, if you're not doing scenes to camera yourself, or you're not auditioning or whatever you're doing, you lose that aptitude. So when you do go in, you're on fire. You can go, right, all right, I might have been dormant on screen for a year, but I know who I am, I'm comfortable with who I am, but I had to have that ready to go. So a lot of actors who are new, all they want to do is just get a call from an agent and go make big dollars. It's not about that. It's a working process of who you are.
And obviously, as you know, there is a big theme in this movie, which is the underdog theme. And do you have an underdog story?
Yeah, sort of. A bit of a weird underdog story, really. So, as I said, I've done a few things in my life. One of the things I used to love to do was I did a lot of magic. I was a magician. And then I went into illusion. And I remember at the time I was working at Movie World, just up the road, as a magical demonstrator. They had a magic shop, and people would come in, buy a trick. I'll show them how to do it, and happy days. I had heard that Street Fighter was actually filming. 1994 this was, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Kylie Minogue, Raul Julia, all those guys. And I heard through the grapevine, because a lot of the stuntmen at Movie World were actually the stuntmen on the movie, because it was being shot next door in the studios for Movie World. And I heard on the grapevine they were looking for a magical advisor to supply some magic illusions and to help, teach these people how to do it. And I thought, oh, okay. So I picked up the phone and they hung up. I picked on the phone, they hung up. 12 times I picked up the phone.
Wow.
And in the end, I said, look, can you just please take my number? They said, we've already got someone. We're happy. Don't bother us. 13th time they didn't pick up. So I thought, oh, okay. So imagine my surprise, like 10 days later, I get a phone call from production saying, hey, look, are you still interested in doing something? That didn't really work out with the person we had. To this day, I don't know who that was. God bless them. I hope they did well. But yeah, so a little bit of underdog story, because I was telling my magic mates at the time, because I wasn't really into acting then. It was more about, well, as a magician, you are an actor, really. You've got to present, you know. But they said, there's no way. There's no way. I said, well, I don't know, maybe. And then I spent a week on the film and had some amazing relationships doing that. And that was my first foray into a big Hollywood blockbuster movie.
Wow, that's a great underdog story. And again, just another example of like persistence, of something that you want, something that you know that's right for you. And you keep pounding on those doors until that person, they say yes, because you know it's right and there's nothing else to shake that.
But the weird thing is, when you have unshaken confidence or self-belief in unshaken confidence, you can do a lot of things. The minute that you've been in the industry for a while, and then you start to second guess yourself a little bit, you go, no, I'm good. But back then I was young, naive, and I think I hold the record to this day of, in the Southern Hemisphere, being the youngest ever magician illusionist to consult on a major film.
Amazing. That's so wonderful.
I don't know if it's been broken yet. Please correct me out there.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you've been in the industry a long time, starting with entertainment and then went into acting. What is your stance on independent film?
Look, we here as Australia has been given a bad rap for a lot of the independent filmmakers, and some of them quite rightly so, because it's just, you know, not to standard. But other filmmakers who are independent, my gosh, they get such a hard time. And so there seems to be two different variances here. There seems to be the commercial quantity that has either local Australian money, like, for instance, Channel 9, 10, all the TV shows, all the TV channels, they used to invest in local stuff. Well, they don't do that anymore because they now got their streaming giants who actually do that. Or then you've also got Hollywood, or like from England, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, comes and films here. So that's all good. But from the independent version, you are really struggling, because you might have an amazing script, and yet everyone says, oh, we're here to help you. But it's only lip service, because they actually don't help you. So the first thing they want to do is they want to take, you know, their share out first, which is business, I get that. But they make it so hard for you to even get $10, you know, out of them. And they want a name attached, or they want completion guarantees attached, which is normal in our business, of course. Then they want a star director or things like that. And you're independent. You don't have access to that. So therefore, all of that help that they supposedly give you is really thrown out the window, because there's nothing there to really take you and go, well, hey, you know what? Let's help you through this. There is a program through that takes you through certain stages, but it's so restrictive. And in the end, it's just like, well, what are we bothering for? Some of the independent filmmakers here are absolutely brilliant, so on point, and they've done some amazing films. You know, look at Rise. Look at Rise of the Underdog. Look at one of my films, to give a plug, that I shot down in Tassie. You know, so yeah, and they've got on to find niche audiences. So it's an uphill battle. But if you break through that, there is beautiful times ahead. But it's just trying to break through it. And a lot of people miss the industry, and they're so talented because they just get hit on the head so many times saying, no, you can't do this. We're not going to give you funding for this. And so I go, really? I'm actually pretty good, you know, and a lot of them we miss. So it annoys me that we're not supporting independent filmmakers as much as we should.
It's so true. And I mean, this film really does show you exactly what goes on for independent film. So can you tell us about your first day on set and where it was located?
I had the dream location to work on. I thought it was awesome. So Mack says, hey, buddy, we're going to go film up at the Treasury Casino. I said, really? And he goes, yeah. So to give audiences an idea, the Treasury Casino is a building from like the early 1900s, and it's Victorian. It looks grandeur. It is insanely amazing. And I said, oh man, that'll be really cool if we can shoot my scene there. When I walked on set, we walked into this massive room, And there was a table there from like the 1800s. It was like, wow, are you kidding? And all sort of different things. So the set was incredible and very privileged as an actor. You immerse yourself. Now, this is another thing as an actor. I'm going on a different tangent, but very quickly. A lot of actors base themselves on method. So, but the problem with the method-based actor is you're rigid within that framework. What a lot of character actors tend to do, we become intuitive, flow actors. So we base all of our training around method, we do our backstory, all that. But then on set, that might not work because you're in a beautiful location. So and that was the case with when we shot up at Treasury. So I just changed the character slightly, to the way he looked, the way he walked, the way he put his hands. So you are conducive to what your set is and to, believe it or not, to when you throw the clothes on of the character. Because you might have an idea of X, Y, Z, but now you put the clothes on, you think, well, hang on, this character might have a little bit of a stutter. This character might sort of misstep a little bit, or he might have a nervous twitch every now and then. And you'll only know that when you feel where you're at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any unique ways or a specific process to get into character yourself?
So what I do is when I get a script, I'll read it, have a look at it, and then I'll read it once or twice, and then I'll go through and do what I call a day 53, being my age 53. So I'll write my own backstory based on the character of where he's been in his life to give me an idea so I know the character inside and out. So I'll go, well, and this is whether it's unapplicable or not to production. That's not their notes. It gives me an idea of the webbing and the fabric of this particular character. So I'll do that. And then when I do that, because I know the character so well, you don't have trouble remembering lines because he's now part of your fabric. You're part of this particular character. And then, of course, we apply it when we're on set. And that's when you need to be intuitive enough to go, well, hang on, no, I got that wrong. I think I'm on point with that. But having a healthy relationship with the director as well is so very important because you go, well, look, this is my thing here. This is what I think here. And they go, well, yeah, you're on point. Well, no, you suck on that. So you've got to. For a TV show, I did that and I sucked at it. And the director said, no, give me another one, give me another one, give me another one. So I said, oh, look, can you help me out here? And they said, oh, just make something up. And I took a deep breath. I went, oh my gosh, of how it changed the tone of the voice. That's got everything. So it was then a gravelly voice. Oh, I don't know. What are you doing? It was like, that's the character. And we shot it in one take after the 30.
Wow.
Because it was just that missing piece. So again, you've got to be comfortable enough to put the puzzle together when you go, oh, okay, and not get flustered, because if you're on set and you've got 200 people watching you and time is burning, money is burning, and you're getting it wrong, not ideal.
Yeah.
You need to bring your A game.
Amazing. And what was the experience like working with Mack in that? Because he wasn't only just your scene partner, he was also acting as the director in those moments. How did that relationship?
That was the really cool thing. We were so comfortable with each other. So when we actually got on location, the first thing we do was have a hug, as you do. And then we just have a joke and a laugh. And we're so comfortable with, he knew that I had it. I knew that he had it down. All we had to do was relax with each other and walk it out. And then we did. We were just flying. And there was some different takes there that were completely different to the other ones we did because we wanted to do that. It's a very unique style of filmmaking. Not many people can do that. It's like having live theatre. Great training. Any actor out there, please go do community theatre because it gives you that sense of who you are. So when you are allowed to fly, because some directors don't like you flying. They get, that's what's written on the script. I want you to say okay, no problem. But the experience with Mack was very different.
Yeah. Because
he cherry picks who he works with. Why wouldn't you? If you have an opportunity to go, well, hang on, I want the very best for that. Let's cherry pick an actor. Let's get this actor for this. I know what they can do. And then he's comfortable, we're comfortable, and we just go in. a privilege to work as an actor like that. Because if you do Hollywood, you're standing there and you've got to do verbatim of what they want and like move your eyes or twitch your nose at the exact same time. But when it's like if they trust you, like you're a Robin Williams or someone like that, you do your standard take and then you go, hey, can I fly in a take? And 90% of the time, the takes that you're flying with, they're the ones in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did your love of acting come from?
Wow, it was in high school. Yeah, great question. Thank you. In high school, I was wanting to be a muso, so drummer, right? I was playing drums. And I had a crush on a girl who was in the music class, and she got a lead role in one of the actual plays that we're doing in high school. I went, maybe I can do that. So yeah, and I actually got, I had to, it was so funny. I had to play the part, because I'm 6'4", so I had to play the part of a Frankenstein.
Oh.
No big deal, right? It was year 8. And I got an award for that. As best person or whatever it was in the play. And I go, oh, well, maybe there's something here. I don't know. And then I just saw that I can transverse different. You almost have to be a psychopath in one way as an actor. Because you never know who you're playing, whether you're playing a psychopath or whether you're playing the Attorney General. So I thought maybe this is almost like therapy for me. So I can go on set and be an Attorney General without ever having to study for being an Attorney General.
I love that. That's such a great way of putting it. Because you have like a multiple personality disorder, I think, as an actor. Everyone does. They have to.
Every actor does. Yeah. And we're also so fragile. And so, yeah, we're like wallflowers, but then we bring it on screen. It's like, and then, of course, when we finish, the first thing we ask, was that all right? Did I do okay? Did it?
Absolutely. And in terms of your acting career, was it theatre mainly, or was it films and TV that influenced you? And do you have any films or theatre productions that have really influenced your acting career?
Yeah. Thank you. So really good questions. Love these. It was first theatre. Well, actually, first of all, it was puppetry. So I wanted to study the Shibuya style of puppetry, which is when you're all in black. So you can't become the puppet. The puppet's got to become you. So I wanted, as a discipline, first of all, to learn that. And I did that for 3 years on how to manipulate something to give it an emotion in a stillness of that. So I did that. Then I did lots of amateur theatre, lots of singing, lots of dancing, lots of plays. And that just gave me the bug. I went, oh my gosh. And it wasn't until the movie Street Fighter I mentioned before that then I thought, because they didn't have time in the script to actually include another character. But one of the second ADs or something said to me, you know, you're very good. You should think about being an actor. I went, oh my gosh, well, thank you. That's really cool. So then I decided, well, I love this. So let's get into that as well. So, and what was the second part of the question?
About films. Was there any specific films that influenced you?
Gosh, there's so many, but one that really stood out for me was Michael Caine, Steve Martin, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, 1988. What a movie. Oh my gosh. I sat there, I went, oh my gosh, 2 character actors flying at their top height at the time. It was like, this is just insane. And I thought, I want to do that. I want to be the Steve Martin. I want to be the Michael Caine. And whilst I'm still trying to do that, I get the opportunity, people like Mack, to do a little bit of that. So yeah, that was the first movie. When I was younger, a movie that really had a profound effect on me was The Wizard of Oz. And I collect Wizard of Oz memorabilia. I have a few rare things at home about that.
You're wearing green today?
I'm wearing green today, yeah, the emerald. Well, they're turtles. Yeah. But yeah, so that had effect. And then other different movies as you move on have an effect on you. And you go, gee, that was good. The George Clooney movie In Space, what was that called? Oh my gosh.
Oh, Gravity.
Gravity. Sandra Bullock, I think, was in that? Yeah. So, wow. I'm sitting watching this movie, actually thinking I'm going to have a stroke because the way the music, the way the tension was done towards the end, I'm literally sitting on the edge going, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then as I've gotten older, Hollywood movies are great, they're fun, but it's the same old formula. I love English movies. I love English TV shows. England tends to have a lot of character actors, a lot of character-driven specific work, you know, and you go, wow. Wow, that's where it's at. Hollywood's great, don't get me wrong, fantastic. But to have humanized stories, stuff out of New Zealand is amazing. Some of the indie stuff out of South Africa is amazing. So I'm just a film buff.
Okay, last question. Have you got any more exciting projects coming up?
Next on the list, of course, if you go to cinemas on November the 6th, you'll see me fly as the Eternal General in Rise of the Underdog. Apart from that, I just had a movie released on YouTube. Done lots of auditions, on hold for a few things.
Amazing. Best is yet to come.
Best is always yet to come.
Well, thank you so much, Craig, for coming in. Remember, guys, Rise of the Underdog is out in cinemas on November 6th. We'll see you there.